Have you ever been out to a river in the summer and you're rafting or you're hiking and all of a sudden you come across a big snake or a little snake, but in this case it was not that big, but a cottonmouth? Have you ever seen those? Have you ever heard of them? Well, if you're anywhere, probably somewhere in southeast Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, I don't know. I don't know where they're all at, but there are cottonmouths and those things are pretty dangerous. I want to say they're more dangerous than rattlesnakes. Well, this was the same trip where we almost got bit by a rattlesnake, a big one. And we, of course, kept the tail, the little rattle, and don't know where it's at, but we'll have to find out. Well, anyway, we were camping, and I think it was the next day, because we hiked in on a Friday, and then on Saturday, we were just hanging out, just having fun. I want to say it was September in Arkansas, because the rivers were down, there wasn't anybody out there really, it was a little bit cooler. So we were camping, and it was near Jim's Bluff, if anybody knows where that's at. It's the upper Buffalo wilderness area, something like that. When we were coming down off of the ridge, as you have to get into that upper Buffalo area that way, you go down to the river, and that's where you camp. And we were talking about, well, hey, what do you do when something happens and we're 5 miles into this area and somebody gets bit by a snake? And at this point, we're thinking rattlesnake. And we were like, well, I guess we would, well, anyway, we were going through all the different scenarios of what we would do because there was no cell service there. There's probably not cell service today. But what we'd come up with was we would get the fastest person that could drive to run out, get the vehicle, and go get some help while the others took care of the person that was injured. Well, we were having a great time, beautiful morning. We were getting up and getting around, and my son, Caleb, and it was one of my nephews, and I want to say it was Steven. So I think Steven and Caleb were out on the river, and of course, doing what boys do, they were playing with rocks, and they were actually trying to dam the river up. Now, the people who float that river probably won't appreciate that, but at that point there was nobody floating the river. Anyway, they're out there and they're rolling over rocks and damming the river up, and of course there's no way to dam that river up, but they were having fun. And so I believe Christopher goes over there, so all three of them are out there and they're doing their work. They're construction or civil engineers, and they're trying to take care of the river. Anyway, well, all of a sudden, I don't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Caleb who rolled this rock over, and him and I want to say Steven, I may have the names wrong, but two of them jumped back, and then they're like, oh my gosh, and they were, hollering, hooping and hollering. And so Brian and I go over there, like, what's going on? Well, a cottonmouth snake, a fairly small one, I think they said it was around a foot long, had come out from under that rock and went on its way. Well, as you know, that cottonmouth is very dangerous. And in fact, what a lot of people say is, and I've heard this a lot, the smaller snakes can be more dangerous than the big ones because they can't control the release of venom, and they could release more than maybe a big snake. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, but I've heard that plenty of times. Well, they jumped back, and we were all there going, oh my goodness, okay, let's don't dam up the river anymore. Let's enjoy the river from, we could be near the river, but let's don't be playing in all these rocks. I wanted to tell you about this story because the night before, or evening before we were hiking in, we came across the big rattlesnake. The next day in the morning, we come across this cottonwood mouth snake, and twice in that trip, someone in our party almost got bit by a venomous snake. So it's just good to be prepared when you go out, because you think there's not much that's going to happen. Hey, you're with friends, you're not at a trail that's super way out in the middle of nowhere, and maybe you don't even take enough things, and you're not really ready for the backpacking trip or the hiking trip. That happens all the time. But I just wanted to let you know that, things happen. So many things have happened to me over the years, and just recently, about a week ago, probably exactly 1 week ago, my wife and I were out here at a trail in Colorado, and we almost got bit by a snake, and we came within at least 2 foot of this snake. And of course, the story will get bigger as the years go on, but it happens all the time, no matter where I've been. It can be altitude sickness, it could be a snake, it could be maybe you break something or you sprain your ankle, whatever. There could be all kinds of things that happen, and people just need to be prepared. And I do bring this up a lot here about being prepared, and we have a two-way satellite communicator like a Garmin inReach Mini 2 or a 67i or a Zoleo or ACR Bivy Stick. Have something with you because you never know when you're going to need it. So be prepared while you enjoy the outdoors, and thanks for joining me here in Colorado, and I'll see you back out here again.